Greetings and welcome to Earthling Cinema. I am your host, Garyx Wormuloid. This week's artifact is Demolition Man, starring white-collar criminal Wesley Snipes and the Italian stallion himself, Sylvester Stallone. The film takes place in a bizarre alternate universe where people always address each other by their full names.
John Spartan.
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 Our protagonist is John Spartan, a cop who is beloved for his ability to destroy things. That is, until he crosses paths with a blonde bombshell named Joaquin Phoenix, whose one lie is enough to make everyone suddenly hate John Spartan.
Bodies everywhere. I told him. He said he didn't care.
You got a lawyer, you better call him.
And throw him in ice jail for 50 years. Cut to the future, where everything is all kumbaya because Emperor Palpatine over here outlawed swear words.
Are you me?
Bad language, chocolate, gasoline, uneducational toys, and anything spicy. It's illegal.
Reminds me of my ex-wife. The first one. Well, and the third one. But especially the second one. Joaquin Phoenix escapes from ice jail and goes on a homicidal laughing spree. Guess blondes really do have more fun. Since the police in the future have lost their flair for beating civilians,
we're police officers. We're not trained to handle this kind of violence.
They decide to bring back the one guy who can get the job done. Rambo. I mean Rocky. I mean Judge Dredd. I mean The Expendables 3. Look, whoever he is, he immediately gets back to his old hobby of letting Phoenix get away for the millionth time. In a shocking Pepsi twist, we learn Palpatine is a bad guy and freed Phoenix in order to scare people into giving him more power, even though he's already extremely powerful and everyone treats him like a god. That night, Spartan tries to play Nintendo Wii with his new coworker Huxley, but she switches it up and puts an X over her box. Instead, they journey down into the sewers to gab with some mole people. While they're talking with their defenses completely down, Phoenix has a wide-open shot at them from a higher vantage point with the element of surprise. Somehow he ruins all that by just spraying gunfire aimlessly, and things quickly devolve into a car chase along the 10 freeway. Although at that hour, they probably should have taken the 101. Realizing there's only 20 minutes left in the movie, Phoenix hurries things along by killing Palpatine and adopting a new plan. Defrost some more dudes and then sort of see what happens.
Jeffrey Dahmer? I love this guy!
What happens is that John Spartan shows up just in time to get caught in a claw machine. Phoenix fires about 1,000 rounds at him from point-blank range, but none of the bullets make contact, despite the fact that Spartan is stuck in a claw machine. Spartan escapes and drops some sort of infinity stone on the ground, which instantly freezes everything except himself, because they're just making up the rules as they go along. Then he blindsides Huxley with some workplace harassment and calls it a day. Demolition Man is a parody of 80s sci-fi action films, many of which were already parodies of themselves. The film pokes fun at all the tropes that make the genre nervously tick, from the non-stop cussing to the necessity of having sex after action sequences.
After having observed your behavior this evening, I was wondering if you would like to have sex.
To the hero's insistence on driving.
I'll drive.
I see.
If you would like to commence transportation, John Spartan.
When everyone knows a lift will get you there in half the time with twice the mints. This parody is especially effective since it's performed by a prototypical action star whose star blew up in the 70s, unlike the other star that blew up in the 3000s and made everything all melty. Where many future dystopian films take place in a tattered husk of a world or show a society oppressed under a totalitarian regime, Demolition Man portrays an apparent bachelor in paradise.
Welcome to Taco Bell.
Where the grass is green and the seashells are crappy.
You're out of toilet paper.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
There's no violence, and everyone's feelings are treated with the utmost importance by robots.
You are an incredibly sensitive man who inspires joy feelings in all those around you.
But underneath this utopian veneer lies a warning about attempting to arts and craft a perfect society. Rob Schneider will still be there. The film hints at its ominous message by totally plagiarizing names from Brave New World. Lenina Huxley takes her first name from the book's character Lenina Crown, and her last name from the author General Huxley. John is an homage to John the Savage, and Alfredo Garcia probably means something too, right? Isn't that a kind of pasta? The film imagines the effects on society when politeness becomes law, just like the 5-second rule. In Palpatine's world, anything deemed unhealthy or unpleasant has been exorcismed.
Smoking is not good for you, and has been deemed that anything not good for you is bad, hence illegal.
While the intention is presumably to prevent people from getting butthurt, the film suggests a dehumanizing effect.
Somebody put me back in the fridge.
The verbal morality statute, enacted to encourage civilized conversation, has become an oppressive moderator that wastes an extraordinary amount of paper, and that stuff doesn't grow on trees. Technology, ostensibly created to empower people, has come to inhibit their natural urges. Science has made it possible to simulate sex, but in doing so has made it suck, and not in the fun way. And when people can't get their release in the traditional way, they're inevitably gonna start sticking shells up their butts. While crime has become virtually non-existent, the film suggests that the lack of conflict has rendered society ill-equipped to deal with adversity, a disease that humans like to talk about at graduations.
We have become a society of peace, loving, and understanding, and we are, quite frankly, not equipped to deal with this situation.
The contrast to this squeaky clean, hyper-rationalized version of government is the sweaty, hot, dirty anarchy below.
According to Cocteau's plan, I'm the enemy. Because I like to think, I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who likes to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order gravy fries? I want high cholesterol.
The film, however, suggests that this is not a good option either, because the lack of any system at all leads to starvation, and worse, a surplus of gluten.
Rat. This is a rat burger.
The film's conclusion is to strike a balance between the two.
I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. Why don't you get a little dirty? You will like clean. And somewhere in the middle, I don't know, you'll figure it out.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go strike a balance between sobriety and a handful of lewds. For Earthling Cinema, I'm Garyx Wormuloid.